It's your boy, Revolutionary Cuz. I am your favorite freedom fighter, thugging it everywhere. Don't believe me? Ask that bitch about me. You dig? Okay, shout out to P Nice. You know, you got the P Nice Show, his podcast. Go ahead and go over there and subscribe to his channel, run his numbers up. I'm going to post the interview that I'm going to be talking about in the description box below. But yeah, man, recently he had a sit down with Whack 100. The 600 nigga, and then I guess the other nigga in the back, his name is like Baby Boy. I want to say he's from like Watts, some shit like that. But from what everybody know with the situation with Big U, you know, they spoke on the Big U situation and a couple other topics. But the topic I want to talk about today is when he said that Snoop Dogg has paperwork on him, or he snitched on a case with Big Deee. Now, back in 2012, I was privileged enough to do an interview with Big Deee while he was still in jail. And, you know, we heard speculations in the streets of, you know, him beefing with Snoop, or him actually busting at Snoop and Snoop Dogg pressing charges on him. So me being who I am, I kind of got down to the nitty gritty. And, you know, this is before the internet was popping. Like 2012, nobody was podcasting. And when they did podcasting or radio, they never asked real street questions. So my question for Big Deee was, you know, what is the reason why you're in jail? And he explained the situation, how, you know, it started off with some money disputes between him and Snoop. And, you know, when he ran into the so-called ops, he noticed them from being with Goldie. And if you know the situation or the relationship with Snoop Dogg and Lil Goldie Loc, you know, Goldie Loc was always around Snoop Dogg around them times. I mean, that's when, you know, he was repping that dub shit hard, and he was trying to put the young niggas on. And, you know, he was kind of the face of Long Beach for a time period again. He brought Long Beach back. So, you know, Deee, I'm going to post a video after this video right here of my old interview from 2012. But he was like, you know, after the situation went down and he got arrested for it, they basically tried to blackmail him for $20,000 and a car. And he's like, no, you ain't going to blackmail me. Fuck this shit. So, you know, he took his gangster charge, where, you know, that's one of the reasons why he was in jail. So to clear up that smoke with P Nice and Whack, here's a motherfucking segment. And I met P Nice at Corrupt birthday party, 2016. I want to say was a year when I first touched down in Long Beach. You know, I tapped in with a few reputables. Deee was like, you know, is Corrupt birthday party, Snoop Dogg is DJing, you know, pull up. So, you know, I was appreciative that I was invited to such a spectacular event of high-ranked people, because Deshaun Jackson was there, DJ Mustard was there, Don Magic Juan was there. Like, some of the biggest names, especially from the West Coast, was out there. You know, it's Corrupt birthday party. So at the end, and you see the picture, I'm on stage right next to Snoop Dogg and right next to P Nice. So P Nice had to have been somebody of importance. So yeah, Lil Half Dead, funny story with him. He was also there. But like, for him to be right next to Snoop on stage, I mean, you know, he was somebody important. So after the party, you know, I ran to Deee, like, yo, point me to, you know, who's running point for the homies. He kind of like, hey, P Nice. So, you know, I chopped it up with P Nice for a second. And, you know, I kind of ain't been in contact other than on some social media shit. So I would expect P Nice to be more familiar with the situation, with him being from Long Beach and me being somebody that grew up listening to Deee and eventually got plugged up with him on some business type ordeal. But, you know, when it's hood politics, you know, and you got a thousand niggas, it's hard to keep up to date with you know, the current situations and shit. But yeah, I ain't gonna talk my fucking head off. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like, share, comment. Find me on Instagram, TheRevolutionaryCuzShow, also Facebook fan page. Now on Google Play, Chronic TV. You can also go download it at your Apple Store or Roku TV. Here's that motherfucking segment. Yeah, well, you know, most of us already know what you're incarcerated for and shit, know what I mean? But although the case is already closed, you've been sentenced. Can you give a little, I guess, how should I phrase it? Give us a little story about what happened, what went down, and tell people what you locked up for.
Yeah, it was just a regular day, man, in sunny CA. The homegirl had sent word to me that she was finna be sentenced that day on a bank robbery, and I was trying to make it down to catch her before they sent her off. I was trying to make it to the courthouse, and I got up early that day, and I just threw on some regular old gear, man, because I was buffing in the morning out there. I was getting my workout on, so I really wasn't fit to be sliding up in no courtroom. So I wound up sliding through this little swap meet down there and grabbing me some khakis and some chucks, just something to push up in the courtroom a little more decent than what I had on. And as I'm pushing off, a couple of young cats pulled up, and I had been beefing with a few cats out there. One of my own homies and a couple of the enemies out there. We had got into it because I had entrusted them with something, and they didn't follow through. So it was kind of on. So I was on full alert. So when they pull up and they see me, and I seen them say something to each other, and they stop, and I'm on my way getting in the truck, and I'm like, what's up? They like, what's up, Trey? I'm like, what's happening? So they like, shit. So they sit there for a minute. I'm trying to see what they up to, what's on their mind, and they just pause for maybe 15, 20 seconds, and then they pull off. So when they pull out, they stop, and they turn and they point my way. So I'm like, man, these dudes out here playing, and I thought I recognized them from being over Goldie's house. Now Goldie is Goldie from 20s. I'm insane. So we enemies as far as the gang thing is concerned, but we came together through music to try to quell all that shit that was going down. So anyway, when I see them stop and pause, I'm like, man, what are these dudes playing for? I wasn't in no mind to play. So I got off. I'm not going to let nobody get off on me. I got off. So wound up, these dudes run straight to the gang task force, man, and tell on me and shit. And, they was some Twin Crips, too. Let me just set the record straight with that, because I heard a lot of different rumors and whatever and what have you about what really took place. But, they wound up telling the broad, who was my wife then, tell Trey Deee, give us 20,000 in this Porsche, and we won't come to court. So I was like, wow,
crazy,
and so I was like, shit, if the niggas gonna tell shit, they gonna tell anyway. I ain't giving them motherfuckers nothing. So let them do what they do.
Niggas blackmailing you like that. That's real homo. Like who does that? Fucking up the game. That's